Infertility is expensive, but it doesn't have to be that way. Are you looking down the barrel of paying somewhere between $60,000 to $120,000 for egg retrieval, for IVF, for just consultations with specialists? My goodness, it is crazy how this simple, what seemed to be some simple thing, has turned into this entire industry and is ridiculously expensive. So I wanted to hop on here. My name's Thomas Garbarino. Those of you new, I normally work primarily with autoimmune, cancer, chronic illness. But I've also been a practitioner of Chinese medicine for over 20 years. And in that time, throughout that course, I worked pretty frequently, pretty often with folks with infertility and have had great success. And more recently, I've been working with more clients that do have infertility. And so I thought I would share a little bit some of the things that are really simple, because there are some really simple things that you can do, changing lifestyle habits. And by doing so, you start to actually nourish the right types of things for your body that will produce good, healthy outcomes for hopefully a future family for you. Now, in Chinese medicine, one of the things that you should know is when we talk about organs like the heart or the liver, we're not necessarily talking about per se the actual organ. We are identifying the organ, but more importantly, we're talking about the whole correlation to that system. So, for example, when we're looking at infertility, we're looking at the water system, the kidney system. And so, yes, that does incorporate the kidneys, but it also incorporates the bones. It incorporates the ability of your listening. A lot of people have tinnitus now. It also incorporates lower back and leg health and strength, and a lot of other things. But in short, when I look and evaluate clients that come to me with infertility, the first thing that I am noticing, 9 out of 10, and it seems to be more so nowadays, is their kidney energy is very deficient, very weak. And that's a result of genetics, that's a result of lifestyle habits, and other things that I'll mention here in a moment. But the thing I want you to walk away with today is there's actually just a few things, very simple things, that I'm going to go over in these next videos. The first one I want to cover in this video that's very, very important is sleep. Sleep is probably one of the most important things that you can do for yourself to start changing the physiology in your body, i.e. this kidney energy, making that so your reproductive system will start to operate with more resource rather than depletion. In order to do that, sleep is really one of the most vital things in which we are able to cultivate and build this kidney energy. Now, I know a lot of you are used to seeing this ancient symbol of yin and yang, and we're all familiar with, right, the yang, which is like the sun, which is like the brightness of the day, which is activity, which is all these things that us in the Western culture really love, right? However, we're not so versed and maybe mature enough to appreciate the yin energy, which is really the ability to be still, the ability to listen deep, the ability to be in silence and to sleep. So one of the things I always notice when people come to me with infertility is their sleep habits are off. Either they're staying up way too late, or they're unable to fall asleep, or they're unable to stay asleep. And so one of the things that I highly recommend, if you are watching this video and you are someone that identifies as someone that would like to have a family, like to have a baby someday, is really work on your sleep habits. There are so many videos out there on YouTube about developing that. But in short, what you essentially need is making time to transition out of that busyness of the day, work, being on your computer, being stimulated, activated, whether it's through social media or watching Netflix or watching the news. Like, start the process of turning that off as early as you can. Ideally, I tell a lot of my clients like 7 o'clock, in some cases 6 o'clock in the evening, to start to turn that off. Start to begin the process of weaning yourself down eventually towards the bed. Now, for a lot of you, because of the age, right, where you are, you're probably like, what? That is like craziness. I love watching my shows at 10 p.m. or staying up late. But I want to tell you, the value that you get from going to bed at an earlier time will feed your body in ways that will honestly surprise you. That's one of the first things when clients work with me, they notice is, wow, I didn't realize how sleep deprived I was. I was literally just activated throughout my whole day on adrenaline or on coffee to keep me going, to keep my energy going. But if that is not part of the picture, then where do I get my resource from? And that is sleep. So again, developing really healthy sleep habits, turning the lights off. I can remember one time visiting some friends of ours and going to their home, and at like 7 o'clock, all the lights turned to red light. And it was just so nice. It was so nice on the brain, so nice on the sleep. So start to wind down. Don't have these big meals late at night, because that's going to keep your digestion going. So it's going to be hard to settle and finally fall asleep. And don't have a lot of activated emotional content coming in to your system, right? So it's a time to just reflect. I recommend having a journal, writing about the day, or doing some reading in bed, or some light, maybe yoga, stretching, or just getting in the body. I teach Qigong, so doing these light movement exercises that help just kind of, right, take away the stress of the day. We don't want to be amping up, we want to be lessening it. So, and then once you get into bed, right, have all the lights off, have all the distractions off, keep your phone far away from your bed, your bedroom, and just get into that peaceful state. That is the yin that we want to develop, that will ultimately translate into good, healthy kidney energy. So this is one of the most important things you can do. Now, people say you should have 8 hours, 10 hours. It really depends. You will know your system, but in the beginning, it's going to take a week or two for you to replenish those reserves in your system, and then you'll have a good sense. But let me just say this. When we say 8 or 10 hours, that does not mean like you go to bed at like 2 a.m. and then wake up the next morning late that morning. That, from my standpoint and your body's standpoint, still didn't produce the results and resources that your body needs to replenish itself. It's very, very important, if you leave this video and there's only one thing you take away, is do not let yourself sleep past 10:30 p.m. 10:30 p.m. is the line drawn in the sand where you should not be up, you should not be active, you should not be watching movies, you should not be doing things. You should be in bed and beginning the process of sleeping. And anything after 10:30, you are depleting your reserves that you need to build up so your body can start to balance that yin-yang energy and you become fertile. I know a lot of you are probably like, what? Like, I just get going then, but that is really crucial. It is so crucial. And it makes me think of my last client that I had that did have this particular issue and was like, oh, I'm so creative, I'm so active at that time. It took them at least a couple weeks before they were like, okay, we'll start at 11:30, then we'll work to 11, then we'll work. So start in that way. And then eventually make the goal that you are not going to get past 10:30. You will be in bed at 10:30. And if you do that, I think, like I said before, you will be pleasantly surprised with the results, with what will happen. You will just feel less tired through your day, and overall, you'll just feel more resourced. And that is the way to listen to your body, to know what it actually needs so it can heal itself and produce whatever relationship to the hormones that your body's needing to produce a healthy baby. Hope you enjoyed this. I'll be producing another video here on the second most important thing you will need. And I'm also in the process of building a new fertility program. That's right. So if you are interested, I have a special video below that I'd like you to check out. And in there, there's some great testimonials, and hopefully it resonates with you. Until then, subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and I would love to hear from you in the comments. Till then, everyone have a great day. Be blessed. See you soon.